Hello everyone and welcome to brief event. But again, I'm running a bit late. I had the previous commentary that I had to swap from this to this from. We don't talk about the previous commentary. It didn't go to plan. Bit of technical difficulties, which is unfortunate, but they happen and you just have to move on and grow up and get on with it. Unfortunately, but that won't affect tonight's proceedings at all. So if you are watching post-race, do make sure to just skip a few moments ahead and this will get sorted very soon. I'm just sorting out the thumbnail and the links. Done. Good evening everyone. Good on it, Mappy. You just jinxed it now. Just getting everything sorted, guys. Give me a moment. I'm very unprepared. So I'll get it going as soon. Not at all. SP6, welcome. Ted, welcome everyone in general. Just to sort a little couple of things out. We are running a bit late, but yeah. Nobody likes squeaky doors. Well, no one likes squeaky beds either, but they do still happen, unfortunately. Looks like everyone's getting into the chat now. Just need to clarify something. Cool. Right, we are going in. So, and welcome back to APPF1. You join us for round 8 of the Sprint Championship, brought to you of course by TC Focus on Instagram. So we first travel to the lovely climate of Spain and to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia for the first race of the evening. 16 turns and 4.655 kilometers to negotiate a lap of the sport's most loved circuit. Nearing the end of the season now, and it's looking spicy. Let's see who can tame the track. So we go forth to a one-shot qualifying ahead of a 25% race. Again, sorry, it just seems like everyone wants to come in at the most inconvenient of times, but nothing we can do to stop that. Hopefully we can get going and it be smoothly. One-shot qualifying at Spain. Spain is a very notoriously tough circuit to go and overtake. Obviously, you've got a long back straight, a very long run to turn one, the longest, in fact, on the calendar. So it could get spicy starting, you know, second, third, whatever. It might actually be better than starting pole. But dry qualifying and dry proceedings so far, we'll have to see what it is in the race. Probably a luscious climate in Spain, so hopefully it's looking dry throughout, and hopefully everyone can push to the end. Of course, we've got the Britain short next one, so you know, hopefully that's not the typical British weather and we get the lovely cheers for Moosey. Right, so we are underway in quali. We'll go on board with Ghost, who has been on a string of good qualifying performances so far. He comes down into turn one. You want to use this curb on the left hand side, maximise it, brake just before the 54th gear, use the curb through turn two, try not to spin, goes a bit wide but manages to recover it flat through turn three and short shift to make sure you've got the traction. Ghost pretty poor through sector one, only 11th quickest and behind a lot of people, but coming into the brakes for sector one, he is purple, 21.2, and Paus up into P2, so perhaps Spain is a circuit that he likes, but coming into turn 5, you've got to run it tight, make sure you don't go to the off-cambered bit of the circuit, and on the run into one of the most challenging chicanes on the calendar, you've got to be so close. You can see Ghost using the curb to rotate the car, hopefully isn't too much, but through the flat right-hander of turn 9, really got to be committed, nearly flat if you get this setup right. And coming into the harshest braking zone on the circuit, purple again for Ghost. He is on a flyer, purple through the first two sectors. Got to be careful not to invalidate his lap though through these corners, and just got to chuck it in, be committed as he can. Set up a late apex and into the final chicane that a lot of people dislike, but it just doesn't serve a purpose at all. You've just got to be committed. Scott pipping Ghost through the chicane though. It's looking very close between the two championship rivals. DRS wide open. Is it going to be Ghost on pole? Yes it is, but not far off is Scott, a 15.798. So close, and Davila doing a very good performance for Haas with a 16.2. Sumo up there in P4, and Paus definitely up there in P5. Incredible showing from Paus as he progresses on the wheel. A few people disqualified from the session, but you get that everywhere. Spain, notoriously difficult to hook a lap up, and a lot of people have some very quick times in a very exciting qualifying. So Ghost takes pole ahead of Scott, only 0.06 of a second quicker. Davila rounding off the top three, with Sumo 4th and Paus 6th, Hephaestus P6 and Tier P7. Ethan P8 a great showing, Sonic P9 and Kieran in his debut rounding off the top 10. Max with a great showing in P11 with Kiza in P12, QB 13th, S-Man 14th, Kington 15th, Ginger Prince 16th, and Wayne Starry, Knowing Light and Gremlin all disqualified and not setting a time in today's qualifying. Stream is better to watch than actually taking part. Well, hopefully. So yeah, a very close quali indeed. It looks like everyone has a very good pace around Spain. It seems a good circuit, obviously, for testing and getting to grips with the circuit. So fingers crossed it's a good race. Not the most fun track to drive, not the most encouraging for racing, nonetheless, but still can have a good battle or two around here. Obviously turn 1 and 2 cut back on each other, you've got a lot of braking zones, so still maybe if people hook it up and people follow and people are nice, you can still get a good bit of racing going on. Yeah, I thought so. So we are underway for the formation lap. Green flag and green light ahead of what is going to be 17 laps of the Catalan circuit. Goes weaving around, making sure we can get them warmed up. It is going to be a tricky circuit to get to grips to, and it's very tricky to get consistent with. Obviously you've got the turn 2 curb, which I'm sure we're going to see at least 2 spins from today. It's a very tricky curb to get right. You hook it too much, you clip the bottom of the car, it bottoms out, car spins, does not go to plan at all. Hephaestus disqualified, so he's going to be starting on some very, very cold tyres. We'll have a quick look at what tyres everyone's on. Everyone but Kington opted in for the softs then, so pretty much equal pegging in terms of strategy. So it can get interesting. Everyone flat out to the end. But 17 laps of Spain is tricky. Ghost flying ahead of everyone else, but with Scott right behind him. They're two championship rivals, and Davila once again running off in P3. It seems like P3 is his favourite position. We've got Paus completing the Haas sandwich between Sumo, obviously sandwiched between the two Haas's there, and he's going to be under pressure from Paus, who's going to be wanting to get himself onto the podium. Maybe if Davila can pick up some positions early and back up the pack into Paus, who is so high up his nose is probably bleeding. Tier up, very good position. Ethan into a great position. Max up there as well amongst the midfield. Looks like Spain is really spicing things up tonight, and it's going to be very, very interesting. A long run into T1, remember, as well. Everyone going to be slipstreaming around each other. The longest run into T1 on the calendar, obviously Sochi, is a very long run down into the first braking zone, but it isn't quite T1 because technically the kink is T1, which is strange. But yeah, have to wait and see. Ghost rounding the final corner now. Turn 16. And we get ready to go racing. Hephaestus has left the session as well, so not only has he been disqualified from the formation lap, he's also left the session, which is definitely not going to help his case at all. A great position in qualifying to start him off, but just didn't go his way at all, and I know exactly how that feels. We look to get underway with 18 people watching. Do make sure to like and comment. Everyone, it's great to have you all here, but the green flag is waved. We go to the 5 red lights to get underway for the first race this evening. The lights are on. Everyone's revving their cars up. We go to 5 red lights and we're underway and racing. It's a great initial launch from Scott, who's already alongside Ghost, coming in that down into turn 1, already ahead of Ghost, and a great launch from the Ferrari to take the lead early, and a lot of calamity going on further back. It looks like Paus has got a good start. He's got away cleanly. Ethan with a great start, already up into P6 as well. Everyone negotiating turn 1 relatively well. There's a Red Bull further back going off the track, doing a Grosjean, and everyone just trying to file their way through, but everyone just about managing to keep it clean. And Paus up into P4 ahead of, I believe, who was that fell down? It was Hephaestus' AI that went down, and there's also Scott, who's had a bit of an off. What has happened to Scott? There's a lot of stuff going on. The race leader is now down to P8, so a lot has happened in this first couple of laps, so maybe not everyone got off as cleanly as we perhaps thought. So Scott down into P10. His first race in Singapore did not go very well last week at all either. He's under pressure from Ginger Prince, looking to get up the inside, and very much close to calamity there between the two. Ginger Prince just backing out of that one with a massive tank slapper through the chicane, managing to hold on to P12 as it stands. Gremlin already up 12 places, as well as knowing like he wants to claim the position on the man who started just ahead of him. Side by side they go through the hairpin. Very nice stuff. They're still going to be side by side, gives them the room, and knowing like around the outside is going to take that, but Gremlin's going to get the cutback and gets a bit of a tank slapper though, so going to have to back out of that one. And Paus on the back of Sumo, but he's had a big mistake. He's got it all run through the chicane, and Ethan up into P4. Great start from the man in the Mercedes, who has really made a name for himself and doing so well. But here's the Ferrari getting himself past Kieran and up into P7. I believe we've got another timing glitch. A lot of people into the pits. It looks like Scott has sustained a little bit of damage on them. Welcome TC Focus, of course, a massive thank you to him for sponsoring the streams and sponsoring the championship. He's an incredible photographer, and you should definitely go check him out. He does a lot of great stuff, and it's a pleasure to have him in the stream. But knowing like up a lot of places on this opening lap, we've got Ghost controlling the pace up in front ahead of Davila, who's in at P2, with Ethan and Sumo still chasing him down, and Ethan very, very high up, but Paus looking to recollect himself. He's down no places, he's up no places. He's doing a pretty good job for Paus. And upper place on lap 1, lost the place to Ethan, and just needs to get his head down and stay consistent. But he's got a lot of people charging behind him. Ghost trying to just control the pace at the front. Not really much I can see going on at the moment. Just everyone sort of filing their way through as it stands. Kieran with a great debut, hanging on to P10, so still a great chunk of points if he can hang on to the rest of the race. Of course, we've still got the reverse grid race left to go. It looks like the timers are finally sorting themselves out, thankfully. Paus about a second off Ethan. The DRS has been enabled. We're on to lap 3. So it is going to be crucial to get within that 1 second range of people. Tier on the back of Kieran. No DRS as of yet. He hasn't entered the detection point just yet, so still just chilling in the slipstreams, chilling behind, and the gaps have really spread out already. But Scott didn't quite catch what happened to him. If anyone can enlighten me, and they perhaps saw it on his stream or whatever it was, but Tier coming so close to disaster with him and Kieran having to back out of that one. And well, that was very close to disaster between those two, but Kieran hanging on well. There's Tier getting a nice drive, taking a tighter run. Going to be the outside for turn 5. Going to be squeezed to the grass a little bit. Kieran really hanging on to this P8 position, and fair play to him, making a name for himself on his debut in the Red Bull, coming down into turn 6 and 7. Got to straighten on the exit as much as he can, and that's exactly what Kieran's done. Davila hanging with Ghost up in front in the DRS. Kieran a little bit wide. Here goes Tier to the outside. Going to switch to the inside. No, he's going to commit to the outside. Brake as late as he can. Kieran keeping it pinned on the inside, giving him the space on the outside. Still going to be side by side between the two, and around the outside goes Tier to hang on and claim that P8 position. Very nicely done between those two. Very nice bit of racing, and Kieran very strong. A couple of sequence of corners. He's still doing very well, and Scott, the man to watch, he's going to be on a comeback charge. Vardy, I didn't even notice that Vardy isn't racing. I didn't even realise that Vardy wasn't racing. Probably my bad on my part, but he's got Sonic filling in for him in the Williams. Currently sits P19, and Scott chasing down Wayne. He needs to get himself back up the field and get himself charging towards the front. He still has the reverse good race, and that's what he's going to be banking on and relying on to propel him and keep him in the points. Obviously, he's been leading the championship all until last race, where it's just starting to go all undone for him, and the Williams finally conquering him, I believe, in the standings. I'm not entirely sure if I am correct on that, but I'm going to take a positive guess that I am. Scott closing on Wayne, but isn't enough. Palps with a 3-second penalty, the first of which to get one. Currently sitting second and third. Our house, we've got Sumo on the back of Ethan, so Ethan has managed to close the gap to Sumo, and Ethan is on a madness. He is really chasing down these people and giving it the fight to him. It looks like Catalunya is a race for Ethan to really propel him. He's up into P3 on the podium, and this will be a remarkable finish if Ethan can hang on to it, because he is doing a remarkable job. But Sumo will have DRS to combat him and get the counter attack coming down into turn 1. If he can get the launch, he's got the overtake, he's got the DRS. Is it going to be enough? Don't think it is. He's got a lot of overspeed. He's closing. Maybe if he used a bit of ERS, he'd close the gap, but going to think better of it. And knowing like closing down on Palps as well, it looks like the man in the Ferrari really chosen up. Really closing up to Palfson, despite starting from last place on the grid, doing a remarkable job. Davila, the man in P2, has come into the pits, being proactive with it, just needs to be careful he doesn't come out in front of Ginger Prince, which is exactly what he's done. He hasn't come out behind him, which is crucial for his race. He needs the clear air. He's got the clear air to push, and on those fresh medium tyres, try and extend the gap and try and close the gap to Ghost, who will have to come into the pits soon. So a very proactive strategy from Ghost there. We've got Scott making the moves, diving up the inside of Kington, who's going to hang it around the outside, having to brake. Is Scott really getting closed up behind the McLaren? Going to try and go around the outside, but Kington parking it on the apex. Here's Scott to the inside, surely going to get it done and claim the move. There he is, but the Kington going to hang it on the outside, run out of grip, run out of talent, and that's him giving the position up and under pressure from Kieran, who's coming to the pit, so looking to get past him as well. But Ghost is going to react to Davila's pit and come in on this lap, as is Palfs. So the two houses going for a split strategy, going for a similar strategy, but still split in terms of lap. Wasn't confident in the gap, so Ghost going to lose a couple of places. Ethan going to hang out and take the lead of the race. Remember this, folks, Ethan has led a Grand Prix in APPF1. This is a remarkable day. Let's see how long he can hang on to that for. And Gremlin as well, trying to close up onto Knowing Light. These two have started from the back of the grid. Both very quick drivers, probably some of the quickest in fact. But Ghost has come out and has extended the gap between himself and Davila. Gap is now 1.4 as Wayne picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Looks like a slow back marker. Is that Tier going slowly? Yes, it is. Gonna let Ghost through. Maybe try and hold up Davila a little bit. That wouldn't be the most ideal situation. Davila lost a little bit of time with that undercut then. Didn't quite work. Did the proactive strategy, unfortunately. But Ethan leading the race. I'm sure that will be the delight to his many fans at home of his brother and family. Palf's coming to the pits. He's come out P9 on the back of Ginger Prince, who still is yet to pit. Bit sideways is Ginger Prince. This is going to be Palf's with a great run coming off the chicane and diving it up the inside. That is the confidence we like to see from Palf's. Davila really losing a lot of time. 1.7 is the gap between him and Ghost, and Ethan now into the pits. So the effective race leader into the pits and coming in for his first stop. So the pit window now open. He's going to be in the best position towards the end of the race. Whether or not it's going to be paying dividends now is another story. Tier into the pits. Scott closing up to S-Man further back as well. Got a bit of a battle going on between him. All over the back of him. Looks at the inside. Can't find a way through. Scott flying through with Davila with the fastest lap of the race as well for good measure. Into the final chicane of turn 13, 14, 15. Got to be so close to the back of him if he wants any chance. It should be a pretty comfortable move to make. DRS open and overtake enabled, and that is surely going to be the move done. S-Man would be silly to defend that, and Kington has retired from the session. He's had a bit of an off somewhere, I believe, coming off the corner there. Don't quite know why. I think it was sector 3, but it looks like he's just given up on the race. No full course yellows though, and Ghost being given a 3-second time penalty, so all Davila has to do is stay within 3 seconds. That's going to be a big ask considering the pace that Ghost has, but definitely doable if he can just get inside his head now and use that to stay with him, because Ghost is under pressure now. He's on the back foot. He needs to extend the gap, with Ethan finally getting back in front of Sumo and up into the effective P3 position. So still doing very well is the Mercedes, and looking to just cruise his way home. 10 more laps of the race to go. Has Ethan, just needs to cruise at home, and I'm sure he's going to be celebrated with a real life shoey as Ghost responds to that and sets the fastest lap of the race. Knowing like now into the pits, we've seen how quick he is. He's on the mediums. Let's see what he can do towards the end. Here's Gremlin on the back of Palf's. He's got the DRS. Has he got the overspeed to get it done? In excess of 200 miles an hour. Palf's lagging a little bit. There's Knowing Light coming out. Is Gremlin going to go for the move? Going to think better of it on this particular occasion? And Gremlin still with Palf's. He's in a nice little sandwich between the two back row starters, who have both made incredible, insatiable progress in this race. Already on lap 8 and already up amongst the top. And it looks like these guys really just wanted a bit of a challenge more than anything. But on the back of Palf's is Gremlin, and Palf's still trying to stay with Knowing Light. I'm sure Gremlin would love to get in on the action, so he needs to get through on Palf's quickly. He needs to send it up the inside when he can. The adrenaline definitely kicking in now. Is Gremlin going to send it up the inside? Yes, he is. Late on the brakes, late as he dares. Palf's forced to give him the space, but around the outside, Palf's goes. He's going to be fighting this through thick and thin, but Gremlin going to claim the position in the AlphaTauri and set on his charge after Knowing Light needs to get within that 1 second, crucially, to be able to launch the attack. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Goes to again with the fastest lap, edging closer to the 3-second range over Davila. 3:16, Gremlin has got the DRS. So going to want to close the gap to the Ferrari. Both Italian teams, one had more success than the other at Monza, let's just say that much. But into turn 2, not using as much of the curb as he would like to. Still very quick through turn 1 and 2 is Gremlin, and through turn 3 keeping it committed, keeping it flat, even with the dirty air holding him back, and still doing an incredible job despite that. Into turn 4, needs to be committed, needs to run the tight line. He's purple to the first sector is Gremlin, and really charging after the Ferrari ahead of him, who is going to be on some fresher tyres towards the end, which could make the difference. It could definitely make the difference. Halfway through the race now on lap 9 of 17. Big slide from Gremlin though. That's going to halt his progress, but still managing to gain a little bit of time on Knowing Light. Still managing to keep it there. It looks like this setup really twitchy and a very easy mistake to do through turn 7 and 8. Braking as late as he dares down into turn 11. And into 12, really just got to hook it round and stay with him. 8 tenths is the gap. It looks like Knowing Light very strong through that middle sector, but Gremlin even stronger through this third. You can see how much he gains and just pushes the car through that corner. Ethan's still holding off Sumo, really is holding him off. Sumo just can't quite get close enough to launch the attack. Gremlin pushing as hard as he can to close the gap to Knowing Light, who isn't using his energy recovery system. Is it enough for Gremlin, who has stopped using it? Is it going to be enough? No, going to think to not go for that one. Sumo on the back of Ethan as well. Looks like it's getting spicy. Gremlin with a massive slide coming out of turn 2. Big slide from the man in P6, with Max picking himself up. A 3-second time penalty, but Sumo will go on board for the battle for P3. Ethan hanging on brilliantly. He's going to be wanting to hang on to this podium. He's got 8 more laps to hang on to it. This could get very spicy. Sumo is not one to give up a position easily, and Ethan is one to not give up a position easily either. This is two tyrants going neck and neck for a very high stake position, but Ethan doing well. He's holding the pressure off well, but Sumo really closing in DRS. Surely it's only a matter of time. Ethan just needs to make sure he's quick where he needs to be quick off the exits of corners, just like that. Really launches and gets himself ahead enough. Just needs to be enough through the right places, such as the final corner. We've also got Gremlin getting himself behind Knowing Light. Really just got to keep it there, and Sumo just got to try and be quick through the chicane, but Ethan really launches off that chicane. You can just see the drive he gets, as if he hits a nitrous button and just flies off, and that's really going to give him the protection he needs to hold it off Sumo down into turn 1. You can see if he didn't make that progress out of the final corner, he wouldn't have managed to defend that, but Gremlin really close to Knowing Light. It looks like his tyres are going off fast. It looks as though he has ran more of a time trial quality oriented setup to be quicker and not have the tyres, but he's on the back of Knowing Light and still driving a very consistent race. We've got Wayne and Scott duking it out. Scott now back into the top 10 on his hard compound tyres, still driving a great race, and a great race to recover. Champions mentality, of course, from the man in the Ferrari. Sumo still on the back of Ethan. This looks like it's going to be a battle that goes on for a while. Ghost well out of the 3-second range and looking to claim the win regardless. Gremlin picks himself up a 3-second time penalty while fighting for P5. He's got the DRS. Knowing Light to the inside. He goes back to the outside. Gremlin going to go deeper. Lick it, stick it, send it under brakes. But Knowing Light's going to go around the outside, keep him there. And the two tyrants still going side by side. It's going to be the inside again, but Knowing Light hasn't to back out of that one. And Gremlin soars around the outside to take P5 in that exchange and gets himself into the top 5, but Knowing Light will have the DRS coming back at him. Just needs to be quick enough out of this corner. That's exactly what he's done. I'm sure he's going to have another look down in towards turn 1. Is Sumo close enough to launch an attack on Ethan? We'll have to wait and see. He is closing. He's closing. Is it going to be enough under brakes? It's going to be a big audacious send, but it isn't. Knowing Light coming back at him to the outside of turn 1. Is Gremlin going to stick it to the inside? Yes, there is. There's a bit of contact between the two. Gremlin's round. The man in P6 tried to keep it on the inside, just couldn't get it stuck. He's in the wall, and that is his race well and truly pretty much over, crumbling down into little tiny smithereens, and Gremlin backing himself out of the wall, reversing his way out and down into P8. Surely a free position for Scott and maybe even Wayne as well, but Gremlin with wing damage, he's going to put himself in the wall and fail miserably at that, but retire from the session nonetheless. Big shame from the man, as he was driving such an incredible race, but Knowing Light, fair play to him, kept it around the outside, and Gremlin kept it on the inside. He will be starting last for the reverse grid racer as well, which is a big shame. So it looks like his tyres did get the better of him. Ethan with some astonishing pace this last lap. He's really opened the gap up to Sumo. 1 second now is the gap. That's what he needs. He needs to get over. No, he's over 1 second. He's not going to have the DRS to close the gap to Ethan. So this is exactly what Ethan wanted, was to just get in front, get ahead. We've also got the two Red Bulls going at it for the top 10. This is a sight Ted would not like to see one bit. The two Red Bulls may come together like we've seen many a time in real life. Not so much in recent times, as the second Red Bull hasn't been close enough to give the other one a bit of contact. But it looks as though in APPF1 they are giving each other a little bit of a race. Starry on the back of Kieran through turn 15 and 16, flat through 16 of course, and Starry running a little bit low on fuel is the Australian. Less than ideal, certainly needs to save in the last few laps or so, but Sumo now back into the 1 second range, and Ethan's round. No, Ethan's bottled it off the podium, and he's going to be coming down, and Palps is going to get the position as well. Heartbreak for Ethan, who's going to rejoin in P6. No, Ethan, the most easy mistake on the circuit to make, and he made it through the chicane, battling with Sumo, eager to get out of that DRS range, and he's struggling so much with understeer, going face first into the wall. No, and I can hear Paul's cries all the way from here through the chat. He is heartbroken to hear that Ethan is out of the running and up and down into P6. Big shame, and not something you would like to see at all. Starry's still on the back of the Red Bull. Ethan into the pit lane, so decided it's not worth it. He's going to come in, he's going to fit the soft compound tyres and a wing change to the end of the race. He's going to be plummeting down the order. Unfortunately, he was driving extremely well. Just it looks as though the track got the better of him. It always seems to claim the most innocent people. When Ethan driving so well for a podium, he still has the reverse grid race, remember, so don't write him off just yet. Britain Short is still going to be a race to remember, I'm sure, but he's coming out just behind Sonic in the second. Williams replacing Vardy for this one-off, and he's got the drive, he's got the soft tyres to the inside. Let's see what Ethan can do. He's going to be driving back with anger and wanting to reclaim what was a pretty dismal result, because he was on for a podium. Tier driving well, yes indeed he is. Sort of a quiet race in the Alfa Romeo to get him up into P6. Scott driving equally as well to go from the back of the grid after turn 1 all the way back up to P7. He was definitely in the shout for winning the race, but Ghost up in front, dominating once again, dominating as usual. Let's see what Ethan can do as he bids to chase after Starry. That is not going to help deep into turn 10. Definitely won't help his cause at all, but still flying, still going to be putting in some good laps. And hopefully he can recover to a good, half decent position. Exactly, you can't knock Sumo at all. That's exactly the ideal situation for Sumo, because he put the pressure on. He made it so that Ethan wanted to get out of the DRS range, made him push so hard, and Sumo playing a very good mental game there. Fair play to him, but it's just a shame because we all wanted to see Ethan on the podium, and I'm sure he's going to be beating himself up after that one. He's not giving up at all. He's charging through. He's closing and closing on the 2 Red Bulls to get him back into the top 10. Let's see if he can do that. 2.5 laps left to go, or 2 laps left to go, I should say. Kiza on at the back of QB as well for P15. Going to be wanting to get himself up the order as well. But Ethan already within 1.8 seconds. He is flying on those soft tyres compared to everyone else on their worn compound tyres. Let's see what he can do. I'm guessing he can get himself up into P9 probably pretty easily. Depends how hard Starry fights it in the Red Bull. So through turn 12, the loop corner, into turn 13, 14 and 15, really pushing him through and onto the final lap of the Grand Prix for the first race. What can Ethan do? He's got the DRS, he's got the overtake. Is it going to be enough down into turn 1? In the slipstream, he's closing Starry to the inside to break the toe. Looks like Ethan isn't too interested in closing the gap on this particular occasion, braking as late as he can. Starry goes in a bit deep, and through turn 2 that's going to compromise him. There goes Ethan, sending it around the outside with a superior tyre grip, and a great move. Balls to the wall there. Great stuff from Ethan, and that is what you love to see from the man. He does not give up a position easily. He does not take a position lightly. He always pushes to the end and up into P10, back up into the top 10, making the most of a bad situation. Unlucky, or well, to quote Charles Leclerc, lucky in an unlucky situation, and making the most of pretty dismal circumstances. But goes still a very quiet race up in front, just dominating, and onto the final lap of the race. Purple to the first sector though. He's opening the gap still with the worn tyres. He's still setting purple sectors. Just goes to show how quick Ghost is. Ethan closing up onto Kieran as well. He's got one more lap to get the move done. DRS wide open. Down this pitch straight, zooming down in nearly 200 miles an hour. Is he closing enough to get the move done on Kieran though? Doesn't look like he is. Down into turn 1. Could he replicate the move he did on the other Red Bull just a moment ago? He looks in a good position to do so. Just can't quite close up through turn 2 enough. Maybe going to go for it down into turn 4. Paus given a 3-second time penalty. We'll have a quick look at what implications that could have. Looks like it's going to keep him safe. Despite the extra 3 seconds, he's got 5 seconds. Ethan taking a lovely tight line compared to Kieran. Darts to the inside, very committed to the move, and a bit of contact between the two, but he's dummied to the inside. Still side by side they go. Ghost takes the win ahead of Davila up in front, but I don't want to move from this battle as Ethan claims the position through into turn 7. Great bit of racing between the two, an audacious send from Ethan. Will Kieran respond maybe with DRS? Has he got enough in him? Doesn't look like that is the case. Paus comes across the line in P5 ahead of Tier in 6th. Scott with a great race nonetheless, still hanging on for P7, and that's what you love to see from him. Across the line P7 with Wayne, a great race in P8. The two mechs coming home 8th and 9th. AP very happy with that result, a P2 and a P5. It's definitely something to be smiling home about to the factory. And across the line for Ethan, heartbreaks, but he made the most of it and and yeah, brought it home for P9. Very good stuff. And Sonic in P11, Starry P12, Max P13 across the line, and just waiting for a couple more people to get themselves across. Wayne did very well that race. A very quiet race, but a very good one indeed. Coming home, I believe, in P8 or 9. I believe it was P9. Yeah, P8 for Wayne. Starting from 17th, a very good race, and it looks like Catalunya really spiced things up. But Ghost takes the win ahead of Davila and Sumo rounding off the podium with Knowing Like a great race from 19th to 4th when Paus staying station in P5. Great stuff. Tier in P6 and Scott in P7 with Wayne in 8th. Ethan so close to his maiden podium, just couldn't convert in the end. Kieran hanging on for P10 in the end, a great debut with Sonic in 11th, Starry P12, S-Man P13, QB 14th, Max 15th, Kiza in 16th, Ginger Prince in 17th, and Hephaestus in P18. Gremlin and Kington both not finishing. Unlucky Ethan, man, but use it. You had the pace, definitely, so use that. You take the positives. Probably wasn't the best overall race, but that first 2/3 of the race was incredible. And you drove your heart off in that one, and we all were cheering you on. We were all gutted to see you lose the podium, but use it and get them next time. So we'll move on in a few moments' time to Britain Short. Oh, I've got hiccups now. This is brilliant. Not something you want as a commentator, is hiccups. It sucks. Yeah, what's everyone's thoughts on that race? 20 people watching. This is great stuff to see, guys. Mark, I love the comment, but you've used the wrong "your" and it's really bugging me. I'm joking, I'm joking, I'm joking. I'll give you an autograph half race, don't worry. I'll send you one. Yeah, nothing a good cup of tea. But yeah, exactly that, Ted. I said cup of tea really weirdly then. I didn't even realise, I just sort of like mumbled my words. I said cup of tea as if I'm from Ireland. Ireland. I say Ireland as well, really weird. Not in a good cup of tea won't sort Trini. Take the compliment and shut up. Should I just do this next race in an Irish accent? That would be something, wouldn't it? Should organise like a fun race where I commentate in different accents, or just do something fun. That would be quite remarkable. It's a shame. I'd like to see if Sumo could overtake eventually without the crash. Exactly. It would have been a nice battle, to be fair, because Sumo doesn't give up easily. Ethan does not give up easily either, so it would have been close. But just sorting out the grid, it looks like we have lost a driver because I think Gremlin can't be too bothered to race after the disappointment in that last one. Hopefully get underway rather shortly. Just want to say again, like earlier with I was on FSR, and honestly that was probably the worst stream I've had. I come off it with my head in my hands. It was appalling from my part, and I just have to apologise to everyone because my Wi-Fi just didn't have any of it. My laptop was just not having any of it, and I couldn't see the screen. I couldn't hear what was going on with my co-commentator either, and it was just appalling. We need some music in this gap. Should I just find some non-copyright? We're getting underway anyway. I'll type in non-copyright music. How's this? Should we just play the? Oh, that's an ad. That's an ad. One sec. We'll get the music, and we'll remember it for next time. That's something we need to write down. Is extra music. Just non-copyrighted music in the background. Let's see how this is. Just need to get like elevator music and just play it. How's this? Awesome. Had it under control. You really did, Ethan. You were driving great, man. Just take, you know. Or a quiz. Yeah, I'll get a Google quiz. I'll make one and copy and paste it into the chat. Hellcat. I'll remember that for next time, Lucy. In the mid time, we'll I don't know. We'll have to do something. It's just that awkward silence where I'm trying to talk and there's just nothing to talk about. So I'm having to go through the sob story of me having my head in my hands over commentary. But yeah, we don't talk about it. Do a fun facts in between. Fun facts about what? Actually, wait. Do I have any fun? I used to have loads of fun facts. Oh wait. Apparently, if you squeeze the Earth to the size of a peanut, it would turn into a black hole. That's a fun fact, I know. Have I tried it? No, I haven't. No, I can't actually squeeze the earth into the size of a peanut, unfortunately. But the theory's there, the hypothesis is there, it just can't be tested. Is there any other fun facts I know? The relative mass of wait, I can't remember. Wait, there's a proton, neutron, or electron. I can't remember which one has a relative mass of 1/1836 grams. I think. I don't even know. I just remember learning it in science. But we are here nonetheless in Silverstone for the international circuit, I believe it's called. This is the one they primarily use for sort of sidecar racing and things like that. It's a short circuit. Coming off the loop, you go through and you come off the exit of Chapel onto the back straight and through to Stowe and then to Vale. So it's a very short circuit, 26 laps around the circuit we will take. Ginger Prince on pole with Giza in P2, Max P3, QB P4, S-Man P5, Starry 6th, Sonic 7th, Kieran P8, Ethan P9 looking to make the most of the reverse grid. And Wayne in P10, Scott P11, Tier P12, Pals P13, Knowing Like P14, Sumo P15, Davila P16, Ghost P17, Kington P18, and Hephaestus P19. I need a co-commentator for the downtimes. Yeah, that's true. I'll ask IG8 if he wants to have a go at some point. Maybe. Anyone else, you're more than welcome to sign up. Come join me. Be a pleasure to have you. So just waiting for everyone to line up on the grid and get the tyres warmed up. Looks like we are lined up and ready to go ahead of 26 laps of the British circuit. So we go to 5 red lights. Drive through penalty for a jump start. We're underway and Max has gotten a great start because of it, but a great start for the Renault, who's already pulled alongside and up into P2. I believe that is that Kington or someone? I've got a timing glitch so I can't actually see what's going on, but here's QB looking to get past Wayne, who's had a pretty good start ahead, and looking to get past Ginger Prince, who's hanging on pretty well. I keep forgetting it's the short circuit, but Max really, strangely enough, just jump started, which is not something you often see. But here's Wayne getting himself past Ginger Prince for P2, or well, what it will be P1 after Max has filtered through and claimed his penalty, but Wayne up into the top 2. And QB coming right back at Ginger Prince through Stowe and getting the move done. Bit of a tap from Ginger Prince though as he pushes him wide. He's going to have to cut the Vale chicane. He might come back on and hit Ethan, who's had a great start. Already up into P4, looking to dive up the inside of QB and make the most of a gap that was always going to close, but he filled it nonetheless. And up into P3 goes Ethan with Sonic following him through into Abbey. Great stuff from these guys. What is going on further back? We've got a lot of cars very, very close to each other. There's Ginger Prince going off. Not entirely sure what's going on because of the timing errors, but Davila making some moves up. He's behind Ghost, he's behind Knowing Light, who's had a great start. Already up a couple of positions, but Wayne and Max, both the penalties already in this race. And in the DRS, is that someone up in front? That's Starry trying to get past Tier. It's looking very, very close between everyone. That is the nature of these reverse grid races. We've got Scott closing up to QB as well, making the most of the reverse grid race. But Ethan up into P2. He wants this podium, and we all know he wants this podium. 26 laps ahead of him to do so and try to hang on to it. Tier all over the back of Kiza. It's going to be a bold move into Abbey. If they go side by side, it's exactly what they're going to do. And Tier ahead going into the corner. Bit of a tap to the wall nearly. That was grazing the inside wall there. Not something you often see, but Starry on the back of Kiza. The Red Bull looking to get past. What is Pavs doing? That's side by side goes Davila with Knowing Light. Still going to be side by side and fighting to the very end is the Ferrari, who had some great pace. There's Ghost trying to get past S-Man. This is a lot of stuff going on these early laps because the faster guys try to get their way through. Here's Ghost in the DRS of S-Man. Here's Knowing Light to the outside of Ghost. Around the outside is going to be a bold move to make if he can get it stuck. Just going to run out of grip and talent, and Ghost going to take the racing line, but Knowing Light comes back at him. It'll be the inside for the Vale chicane. Up the inside, claims the racing line. Will go stick it up the inside. Going to back out of that one and not do that on this particular occasion. But it looks as though Ethan has taken the lead of the race. He's going to be leading ahead of everyone else and try to control the pace. And that's exactly going to be his plan for the next sort of 20 laps or so. Hopefully he can hang on to it because he's got some great pace. He's flying from 9th on the grid and up into the lead. Great sequence of corners for him. Here's Sumo looking to dive up the inside of Kington. Bit of contact between the two. He's going to claim the track and overtake and just barge his way through. Very rude, but fair enough with Paus looking to get past Kington as well. He wants a slice of the cake. Very nicely done from Paus. Knowing Light on the back of S-Man. Bit of contact with S-Man. He's been spun round. He might get caught up. Luckily doesn't. Ghost looking to get past Knowing Light as well. Repay the favour. He goes a bit deep. So there goes Ghost trying to set up the cutback around the outside. Maybe he needs to be careful of Davila behind him as well, though. This is a lot going on because of the shorter nature of the circuit. Davila pulling to the inside. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but through turn 1 into turn 2 and 3, a very much shorter circuit as is the nature. There goes Kiza very deep. That's going to be Knowing Light trying to get up the inside, and Davila going to Ghost going to follow him through. Bit of a brake tech, and Kiza going to lose his front wing because of that. And Davila wanting to get through as well. He needs to stay with these guys if he wants any chance. But further up, I've completely missed it. Sonic and Ethan side by side for the race lead. Ethan to the inside. He wants to hang on to this one, and Sonic having to back out of it. Kington has retired. He's going to set up a cutback though to the inside of the final corner. Side by side they go once again for the race lead. Bit of contact between the two. Ethan hanging on for this one. Very nicely done, and Scott wants a slice of the cake as well. He wants to get in on this battle, and the Ferrari fighting them with them up there. As always, he's on a charge. He wants to get this move done as quickly as possible and try and make the most of what has been a pretty dismal last couple of weeks for the Brit in the Ferrari. So in DRS, he's got the overtake as well. Sonic in the overtake and the DRS of Ethan. Is it going to be enough into Stowe? Is going to look, he's going to dive. Is it enough? Going to look to the inside? Not quite, unfortunately, but Knowing Light and Ghost going side by side through Stowe. Once again, Deja Vu. Is Knowing Light going to replicate the move? He's got the foot in, he's got the power down, but it isn't enough. He's going to look to the inside of Vale. There's Starry up the inside of Tyr as well. There's a lot of battle going on, and just so much to keep up with that I can't quite keep up with it all. Further back up with the lead of the race though, Sonic trying to set up the double cut back on Ethan into turn 3. Isn't going to quite make it move on this particular occasion, but he's got the DRS down the back straight, down the Wellington straight. Just needs to set up a good exit, but Ethan has been so quick off the corner exits recently, and this newfound pace has come out of nowhere, but it's so amazing to see that he's up there fighting. And Sonic really closing up. Scott behind, looking to make the most of it. It looks like he's struggling just a little bit. Is Scott. He needs to put on a show for his home fans. That's what we all love to see. But Ghost with a great couple of laps. He's got past Starry. He's now looking to get past, I believe, Tyr, who's now into the pits very quickly. Into the pits, and Ghost up to P5, Knowing Light still needing to get past Starry. This is going to be very close between the two. To the outside of Abbey, he's going to squeeze his way through on Starry. There's Davila looking to make it 3 wide as well. He needs to get through on Starry as quickly as he can. Maybe if he has a look into turn 3 he can get it done, but Starry being completely swamped looks to the inside to reclaim the position, but that is just going to be all in vain. Davila can maybe get it to the inside, has a little look to send it, but going to back out of it and not go for it because that would be very, very silly. Sonic and Ethan as well duking it out at the front, still in this 3-car battle for the race lead. There's just not a moment to breathe at all. Davila getting it up the inside of Starry into Stowe. Very nicely done, and making some very nice moves as Ghost is on a charge for QB to make the most of the reverse grid race and charge up as he always does. Through into turn 1 of Abbey. Ghost again with another faster slap, and Sonic really closing on Ethan through the flat out sections of the track. Maybe running a little bit less downforce, but Ethan really is flying off these corner exits. Just gets the power down, does not even think twice about it, but Sonic is very close on this occasion. He'll have DRS, he'll have overtake. Ethan tried to defend to the inside. Will Sonic go even deeper? He's got the overspeed, but is it enough? No, it's not. He's going to have to back out and go for it into Vale, maybe, if he can keep it close enough through Stowe. It looks like the dirty air really not making it easy for him at all. But into Vale, bit of a lock-up from Sonic. Not at all what you like to see. He's got Scott right behind him, still putting the pressure on. Ghost really closed up quick to QB, and already 2.5 seconds clear of Knowing Light as soon as he got into that clear air, and that just goes to show the pace of Ghost and how quick he really is. Lap 10 of 26 already, and Paus into the pit lane. So it looks as though this race is going by in a flash. Hold on to it, Ethan. Paul was cheering you on. He really wants you to do this. He's holding on through thick and thin already and really, really giving everything. DRS Frog Ghost. He's got the overtake as well to the inside. Very, very tidy move. Very clean. And up into P4 and on a charge for the front three. As Scott going for the proactive strategy into the pit. Flat out into the pit. Doesn't want to even bother slowing down at all. Flat out. Flat out. Very easily done. Davila into the pits as well, so it looks like everyone now coming into the pits probably for medium tyres. Should comfortably go to the end. Not too much tyre degradation on the shorter circuit, which is producing some great racing, very close racing as well. But I'm not too convinced those softs are going to be degrading too quickly either, because they seem to be going well still, despite being on them for so long, because there just isn't really anywhere that you degrade your tyres. There's no fast corners except for the first sector. Undercut could be good, maybe they can stay in the DRS or whatever it might be, but Ghost coming into the pits now, and it looks as though pitting does put you about a lap down, because it's just such a quick lap time. You lose so much time, depending on traffic. Definitely, Aaron, I have to agree with you there. Is Max going to let Scott through scot-free? No, he's not going to do that at all. Scott's going to have to fight his way through on those medium tyres. And it looks like Max is going into the pit lane, so he is going to get through on scot-free. Yeah, loving this short track. It does produce some very close racing. We face this on the back of S-Man as well. The two racing points looking to duke it out a little bit. Tier on the back of Starry for P12. Can he get through? He's going to want to get through. He's on the softs, on the medium, sorry. He's on fresh mediums. He wants to get through. He's going to jump a couple of people as they come out the pit lane up into P9. Tier driving a great race tonight. And Scott on the back of Ethan. Looks as though Sonic has stayed out another couple of laps, and Scott really now pushing. He's opening the car up. He's using the pace on these mediums, and he's loving these mediums initially. I just need to see where Sonic's going to come out. He's stretching his tyres very, very far. In 27-second gap, maybe could be enough to come out still in front. Be an interesting strategy from Sonic. He's obviously confident in his tyres. We've got No and Light to the inside of Sumo. Brakes late, gets the move done. Sumo going around the outside though, still going to fight it. The Renault and the Ferrari still going at it. Is the Ferrari going to brake late enough to the outside? Davila wants to get through on the Ferrari as well. This could be his chance now. He's sort of held up behind Sumo. Could be Davila's chance to get involved, get a nice little peek at the top sort of positions. Scott also on the back of Ethan. He's very, very quick. Ethan to the inside, Scott to the outside. He's got the DRS. He's got overspeed. Is it enough? Brakes as late as he can, but Ethan brakes even later. Scott around the outside, uses their grip slightly off the track. Bit of contact between the two. Still side by side. Mercedes and Ferrari, just like real life. There goes Ethan. Soars around the outside as late as he dares on the brakes. Uses all the extent of the track he can and cleanly hangs on to that position. Where is Sonic though? He's now coming out the pits. Here comes these guys. Exactly that. Ethan and Scott both going to clear Bluey, Sonic, who has now come out of the pits. Don't know where I got Bluey from, but he is under pressure from his teammate. To the outside goes Ghost, really squeezed out by Sonic there, who has actually lost a lot of time and just going to let his teammate through. So Ghost into the top three. So yeah, Scott and Ethan look to be duking it out. The two tyrants at the front wanting to hang on and win this race. Both want to do it for the home fans, and Ethan wants to claim his maiden victory and maiden podium in APPF1, and it'll be remarkable scenes if he can do that. Just approached the halfway point of the race, very, very much too long. He's lost a lot of time, and will those fresh mediums compensate for it? I'm not too convinced they're going to compensate enough. Davila still on the back of Knowing Light. It looks like this battling has caused them to go a bit too far away from Sumo. Looks to the inside, isn't going to be enough. Between himself and Knowing Light, the Haas and the Ferrari, a battle we see in real life, particularly in 2020. They've not been too far off each other in raw pace. Davila really eager to find a way through though. Just probably needs to wait for the DRS zone. The one DRS zone we have, of course, none on the Hamilton straight towards Abbey. Probably going to be best if he can just sit behind, get a good exit, set up a nice late apex, but Knowing Light is just so quick off that corner. Has Davila got enough? Knowing Light running thin on ERS. That energy recovery system that propels him forward. There's yellow flags through here. What's happened? It looks like Tears had a bit of an off. Maybe a bit of contact with someone. Not entirely sure. Ghost with the fastest lap as well. into Vale. Tier with a 10-second time penalty. Looks like his race has just gone from bad to worse, which is incredibly unfortunate. Keep your focus, Ethan. He's cheering you on. He's being your race engineer, and he is really wanting him to win this race. I really want him to win this race, and we all want Ethan to do well, but Scott is not going to let him do it for free. He's closing up front. Is it enough into Stokes? Not enough into Vale, that's for sure. We'll go back on board with Davila, who is a lot closer, and Knowing Light has been sieged out. He's ran out of ERS. He's got nothing to defend with. Here's Dave closing to the inside for Stowe. Probably going to go side by side. Knowing Light committed to the outside, but Davila takes the racing line, takes the track away from him. Will Knowing Light look to the inside again? Isn't going to be late enough on the brakes, unfortunately. So Davila cleanly up into P7 and on a charge, and very much looking to strike like a pussycat against Sumo. Really needs to get it and pounce as quick as he can. And I hope Mark approves of that one there. But Scott closing on Ethan, who's not got a lot of ERS to defend with. Still got 40%. It is enough, but Scott has a lot more. Really closing. He's really got the speed through Vale, through the final corner. Remember to like the stream as well, guys. Opens up the corner. Ethan really hanging on well. He's only got 8 more laps of this race to hang on to it. Just needs to maximise the opportunities he gets. Just needs to be quick where he needs to be quick, and that's what he's been doing for the last 18 laps, hanging on to it. But Ghost is on a charge. Ghost is coming. He's 1.2 seconds back. He is so quick at a circuit that is really hard to make up time. But Ghost, as per usual, does not give in. He is flying nearly within 1 second. This is going to be close between all 3 of them. So this could become a 3-way fight for the race lead very soon between the Williams, the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Wayne pulling off to let everyone through, especially his teammate. Probably won't be as kind to the likes of Scott and Ghost, but still lets his teammate through in due time. Scott just needs a good exit. Ghost now within DRS. Ethan a bit shaky off that corner though. This could really dictate the path, and Ethan has got a 3-second penalty, you're right, but he's going to hang on to it on track. I'm sure he wants to. Scott darts to the inside, breaks late, but can't quite get the move committed. Bit too late of a dart there and has to back out. But could Scott maybe get the penalty? You know, maybe makes up the penalties. Ethan with 6 seconds, Ghost with 8 seconds for speeding in. Scott's round. No, Scott's bottled it in Silverstone again. No, Scott's round, and that's Ghost into P2. Some pressure alleviated off Ethan's shoulders, but is it much better? He's now gone from Scott to Ghost on his back. It's made it a bit easier for Ethan in terms of sheer numbers, but he's now got Ghost unleashed, the lion unleashed to chase after him in the Williams. It's going to be a tough ask. It's definitely going to be a tough ask. So Squeaky Door once again making an interruption, but it was to deliver kebab, so you have to forgive it. So Ghost really on the back of Ethan now, really extending the track there, doesn't really care. And Scott, yeah, heartbreak, still in P4. Shut up, Aaron. And Ghost on the back of Ethan, looks to the inside, backs out of that one very quickly. Does not want to cause any unnecessary crashes, especially with Ethan. Overtake enabled. Maybe we can get WD-40. Maybe yeah, maybe Pavs can sort something out. Because I would definitely shout them out. Into Vale. And Ethan still hanging on. Not much going on elsewhere on the circuit. Knowing Light and Davila still going at it maybe. My concern is, have they got the gap behind? Yes, they have. They've got more than enough the gap behind to Sonic. Ethan goes a bit deep. This could open the door to Ghost, who's going to send it up the inside of this time. He's not going to back out of that one. but might be forced to. Keys are getting in the way a little bit. Going to supply Ethan maybe with a bit of DRS. Yes, it is. That's really going to help Ethan defend from this one. Lap 22 of 26. It's not the first time we've seen Ghost charge towards the front at Silverstone. We saw it a few months ago in APPF1, and he's doing it once again. He's battling the Mercedes this time. He's got 4 more laps to try and get in front. He also needs to pull the 2-second gap to get it there. And Davila on the back of QB as well. He's closing up to the 2 Renaults. He's now within DRS of both. But Ghost on the back of Ethan. Has he got the drive out of this corner? Really takes a much tighter line to Ethan and really gains compared to him through that one corner. But then Ethan just launches off this back corner and really propels himself. But here comes Ghost. He's got overspeed. Could this be the move done and dusted for the race lead? He's going to look. He's not going to send it though on this occasion and going to think better of it. But he's on the back of him to the inside. Ethan gives him the space, goes in a bit too deep. Ghost could set up the cutback, maybe get the power down. Ethan going to hang on and park the bus on the apex there. And Ghost can't really know where to go. Through turn 1, not really an overtaken opportunity, but he runs a tighter line. Ethan pulling the gap just a little bit more. Not much can do. Maybe send it into turn 3. No, maybe if he can run his tighter line. No, he's not really finding a good place to get it through. On to nearly the penultimate lap of the race, and Ethan hanging on through thick and thin. But here comes Ghost. Ethan to the inside. Ghost goes even deeper. Side by side they go. Is Ethan going to give this up easily? I'm sure he's not. Squeezes him all the way back to the outside to take the race line. Tries to swoop around. He now just needs to stay within 2 seconds. But is he going to fight it? Yes, he is. Back up the inside goes Ethan. Brakes as late as he dares. He needs to hang on to this position. But there goes Ghost back around the outside. Bit of contact between the two. Ethan is not giving this up easily at all. Ghost still showing his nose to the inside. But Ethan hangs on around the outside to take back the race lead. And Ghost being given another 3-second penalty. So may lose out. We're on to the penultimate lap of the race. Ethan hanging on through thick and thin. Here comes Ghost back up the inside into turn 3. Will Ethan hang him to dry around the outside? Yes, he will. Ghost not as committed as he would have liked. And Ethan really is not giving this up easily. He wanted the podium in Spain. He wants the win in Silverstone in front of the home crowd. We're on to the penultimate lap. Only a few more corners of this race to go. He's closing again. Is Ghost. To the inside goes Ethan. To the outside goes Ghost. Side by side once again. Deja vu. Ethan on the inside, Ghost on the outside. It's pretty much roles reversed from the previous lap, but Ghost hanging around the outside. It'll be the inside for Vale, but we've seen Ethan swoop around the outside of Vale before. He's going to do it again. He'll have the inside. Once again, it'll be the double inside. He's going to force Ghost all the way to the outside of the track, and onto the final lap we go. Ethan hanging on through thick and thin. Only a few more corners left to go. Only a few more seconds of this race to go. Is Ethan going to take his maiden win? He may well do. He's got 5/10 back to Ghost, who's got an 11-second penalty and may lose out to Sonic, but Scott going to look to the inside. No, going to back out of that one and try and take P3. He wants to take P3, so Ghost may lose a couple more positions. This is his final chance to get on track. He's closing. Ethan to the inside. Ghost goes even deeper, committed to the inside line. Up the inside, will Ethan set up a cutback? He tries to over the grass. He's going to lose the race lead on track, but it should be enough to hang on the road. And hopefully it is, because Ghost will come across the line to win the Silverstone and the British Grand Prix. But Ethan will take the win in Silverstone. Wow. Scott trying to get up the inside of Sonic. The two guys battling on track. Is going to be a run to the line. Scott going to challenge him, but up into P3 goes Scott. Goes down into P4. Sumo across the line, P5. Davila in P6 and Knowing Light in P7. Close fight between the two, but Paus jumps him. A 6 and 7 for Haas once again. Incredible stuff. Incredible scenes for Ethan. We all love to see it. Yes, Ethan. We love to see that. We love to see Ethan win. That is awesome. That is his first win, and hopefully first for many. That pace today was unsatiable. Thank you, Bitmappy. So Ethan takes the win ahead of Sonic, who finishes P2 for Williams, and Scott in the Ferrari rounding off P3, Ghost in P4, Sumo P5, Davila P6 and Palps P7. Knowing Light P8 and QB P9 with S-Man rounding off the top 10. TTV Max in P11 and Kieran in P12. Good couple of shows for the man on his debut. Keezer in P13, Wayne P14, Tier P15, Ginger P16, Starry 17th, Hephaestus P18 and Kington not finishing again, unfortunately, in the McLaren. But those are the scenes that you love to see. Well, that concludes it for today, but I just want to say, those are the scenes that you really love to see. Ethan taking the win, his newfound pace, he got heartbreak in Spain, he was so close, had one hand on it, but used that to carry him to the victory and held on through thick and thin. He had pressure the entire race from Scott, from Sonic, from Ghost, that we all know how pressurising Ghost can be behind some people. But he learned from his mistakes with Sumo, he learned that, he carried it to Silverstone and he won. And Ethan, I'm sure, is going to be popping a real life show in. We're all going to see it on the Discord because, yeah, it would not put it past him at all, and I'm so chuffed for him. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, make sure to like the stream if you have enjoyed. I've been Zach, and that has been a lot better. That has really cheered me up after the disappointment of earlier with me and and commentary. So that's definitely helped out. AP Pal's very happy with his race. Last 7th, definitely a good result. Great result for Ethan. Great result for everyone. That was some great racing up and down the field. Really clean. And yeah, but nonetheless, guys, I'm going to catch you next time. I've been Zach Sweeney, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.